Hey, lot going on here these days at Come On, Let's Do It. I don't often get to do these across the counter shots. I'm at the board, but I'm at the back of the board because I had to push everything out so I could finish painting the kitchen tomorrow. The new stove arrives on Monday. I'm really psyched. We'll have a Gadgets and Gear show about it in about a week down the road. It's getting hooked up Tuesday, so I'll do something on that. Gonna have to christen it, right? Might as well turn it into content. But tonight's show is called Hat Trick. And, from the sports term, 3 goals, whatever. I tried looking it up. What's the origin of hat trick? Originally, I guess it came from cricket. But the explanation became so long and convoluted, I was going to read it to you guys. But we got a lot to do tonight. I don't want these shows getting too long and boring the hell out of you people. But I'm calling it Hat Trick because we're going to cook dinner for Sunday's episode. We're going to do Gadgets and Gear, which you'll see in a minute. And, of course, I'm filming on Friday night, so TGIFF, the first F, is not a typo. Now, it was going to be sort of a faux TGIFF because I got this Cabernet Sauvignon cigar. Cabernet Sauvignon, bourbon barrel aged, limited release. I'm not a big wine guy in terms of, price points and palate and all of that. I like what I like. I bought this basically because I love the quote on the back from none other than the quote master himself, Winston Churchill. So I'll read that to you. My rule of life prescribed as an absolutely sacred right, smoking cigars and also the drinking of alcohol before, after, and if need be during all meals and in the intervals between them. Winston Churchill. So I'm going to pop this cork so this can breathe out. $18, we'll see how it is, 2019. But it'll go with our meal tonight, the Hat Trick. In the meantime, it is TGIFF, so when I went in to buy the wine, as usual on a Friday evening, there was a gentleman, hey, you want to taste some whiskey? Sure, I want to taste some whiskey. He had some beautiful bourbons and ryes. I only tasted the 2 rye whiskeys, which he was thrilled about. I said, I'll try the rye. He goes, most people don't want the rye. I said, Rye Manhattan, come on. He had a thick accent, by the way, which I'll get to in a minute. So I tasted these 2 absolutely splendid rye whiskeys, local products. So I tasted them, we chatted, and then I said, well, honestly, thanks for the tasting. I came in for wine and I was going to get some vodka, like a pint for $8, but he had this Peace Vodka, another local product, Catskill Mountain Water, product of the USA, distilled and bottled, Alton Distillery, Bethel, New York, home of the original Woodstock concert in 1969, right? So I said, at $19.99, I said, I'll grab that, that's a good price point. And he says to me in his thick accent, oh, this is absolutely beautiful. And I can't do the accent. He said, as you can tell from my accent, I know vodka. He was from Ukraine. It is, it's gorgeous. In fact, I was gonna, and the reason I got the vodka, I'm rambling because I want to get to the main event. But I was just gonna buy a cheap one to have a quick bloody in the morning because the tomatoes now are all cracking on the vine. Some are on the windowsill, they're starting to get funky. So I thought I'd just put them all through the juicer in the morning like we did in that one episode and have a bloody or 2 in the morning, Big weekend, new stove coming Sunday. But then I thought, let me have a vodka club, but it's so tasty, I'm not going to bastardize it with the club. Just going, like back in the old band days, we used to order up Stoli on the rocks at the bar. So, with a lemon. So, little Peace Vodka on the rocks, a little lemon wedge, saluti. So there's your TGIFF. I can bring this out with me to Caveman Kitchen, start the fire, and we can get to the actual episode. So that's the TGIFF part of the show. Now let's get to the Gadgets and Gear. Gadgets and Gear. All right, we're going to cook out in the Caveman Kitchen tonight. We're moving into those absolutely splendid September evenings, cool air, dine al fresco, cook over a wood fire. So I got this great looking ribeye. It's about a pound, way too much for me, but you know, it's the weekend, steak and eggs. I bought this for a prospective guest tomorrow who I had to cancel for personal reasons. So I'm gonna cook it and you know, enjoy some tonight. And then there's steak and eggs. I happen to have pita. Could always do some fajita. I got some cheddar. Could do like a faux cheesesteak. It won't go to waste. But we're gonna fire it up over the Weber grill tonight. Some lilac wood, some apple wood. I got this zucchini season's just about over too. This is one of the last little beauties. That's the size I like. And I was telling you about the tomatoes. Here's one of the last big beautiful goldies, and you can see it's funky. It's got cracks, but I think I can get a couple of nice thick slices, take the funk off, and grill them up with the steak. Okay, so we're good on that. Now, you heard the Gadgets and Gear jingle, the third part of our hat trick. We did our TGIFF. We've got dinner to cook in the CMK. I got home yesterday and there was an Amazon box in my mailbox. And I've been actually buying a lot of stuff on Amazon lately. You know, for the kitchen, I bought a window shade. Kitchen's getting a full makeover. New layout, all in honor of the new stove. So I was like, did I order something and forget? Opened it up, and lo and behold, this was there. This has been on my wish list for a long time. And there wasn't a note. I guess there was supposed to be, according to Man, Myth, Nephew. But I knew exactly who it was from. But it was a combo gift. Much appreciated, fellas. This has been on my list for a long time. This is from the Man, the Myth, the Nephew. And none other than the one and only Joey Turns. I don't care if it's Sinatra, Benny Goodman, Led Zeppelin. I don't care who it is, Beatles. Nobody can flip a disc like Joey Turns. So anyway, this is the Meter Plus. It's basically a smart meat thermometer for the grill. It's absolutely amazing. So I downloaded the app today. Let's go to the phone. Here's my meter app. Okay, let's get a close-up. Let me move in. Okay, connection lost. I was just connected a little while ago because I wanted to make sure I could do this on camera for you guys. So it says move the Meter Plus charger closer to the probe. So let's do that. Okay, so now we're set back up and let's take the thermometer, put it into our ribeye. There's a little line here. You have to go past that line into the steak, and it's giving you internal 52, 53 in the meat. This black part is the ambient temperature in the room, 75. And let's go tap to set up cook. Okay? I want to cook beef. Ribeye. It's saying 140. Meter recommends rare 120 to 129, medium rare 130 to 139. I'm going to go medium rare. So up here 135, that's my target temp. That's setup cook we're in. Start cook. Just make sure you don't leave it on any hot surface. Don't show this message again. And then here, estimated cook time. Ribeye steak, target is 135. I think the next step is to get a fire and bring the meat out. We're all set up. So I'll take care of CMK and I'll meet you guys out there. See you by the Weber.
Come on, let's do it.
All right, here we are in the caveman kitchen. Got a nice fire going in the Weber. Some, looks like apple wood maybe, some hickory. We'll get a close-up on the fire in a minute. We want to let it burn down a little before we start cooking on it. But what the heck, man? I said hat trick. Let's go for the quadraphonic. We did TGIFF, Gadgets and Gear. We're cooking our Sunday episode. Let's throw in a couple quick tips. Number one, I'm loving this vodka. Peace Vodka, $19.99, Bethel, New York. Ice and lemon, quick tip. Cracked a little black pepper on top. Only improves. The other quick tip is, and this is an important one, this one's kind of a gag. I got the Weber cranking. We have been in a mega drought. We had that awful rain last week, but it was just one 24-hour deluge. We're still technically in a drought. It's dry tonight. So anytime I step away from this Weber, when I went in the kitchen, I cover it with the dome, with the vents wide open, so it can keep oxygenated, you know, keep alive. But more importantly, I keep a hose out here, okay? It's on at the house. This is a good long hose that I have for the gardens and whatnot. So I bring it out to the CMK, and as a just in case, it's always at the ready, okay? So let me get in on the fire here a little. So as you can see, I've got some nice logs in there. Everything's well seasoned, and after the July tornado, I've got wood probably for the next 2 or 3 seasons. It just needs to all be cut up, stacked, seasoned. But this is going well. So what I'll do is head back in the kitchen. I'll get the food prepped and bring it on out. So I'm going to cover this again with the dome. See, even there, a few little embers fell to the ground. Let's get a little water around the perimeter. You can't be too cautious when it's this dry. Hasn't rained in weeks. We did get that one. I'm even going to douse the little coals beneath the Weber that have fallen into the tray. Okay? Because I'm walking away. Vents are open. Keeps the fire alive. Should be perfect when we get out here with the food. All right, I'm heading in. No need to film in there. I don't want to move the camera again. I'm losing daylight. I'll see you back out here with the tray of food. Okay, this fire is way too hot and flamey to cook on yet. But what I did is I took my second grate. You see it on there? I scraped it down good. Scraped both down good, but I turned it upside down. I'm just cooking that off so it's nice and clean because the meat's going to go on the second one. And what I did is I adjusted my cook time. I went down below rare. My target is now 120 because I want my final temp to be 130 to 135. And we're going to do the end sear. We did this on another episode. We're going to cook up high on top of the chimney indirectly to get to that 120. Then we're going to drop it down and sear. Pull the meter, of course. You don't sear with the meter in. You got to watch your temps with that. So we're going to cook up high on the chimney. There she is. On top of that second grate, which should be well cleaned off by now. So let me pull that off so it cools down a little. I'm going to want to scrape it again after it's been quote unquote cooked clean. So let's adjust our logs a little. We want an indirect heat for this. So we'll put everything over to the left there. We'll move this log. And then hopefully we can get the grate back on. You see how we have this bare area here? We'll put the chimney there to get an indirect heat for the steak. But I still want to wait because it's a little too hot for the veg. So let's put this here. See what I'm doing? We're losing daylight quick, so I want to do this. I could get a ring light out here. What the heck? Let's get our meat on while we have daylight. The veg is going to take like 2 seconds to cook. Actually, we can put that up here too. I did that the other night. So see, this is away from the heat. I adjusted my target to 120. I've got my meter all the way in. So let's get her on. Got my estimated cooking time there. I do see activity, so I think we're working. By the way, Man Myth Nephew, Joey Turns. I did go on the website at lunchtime. I read the manual. If I screw something up, it's all a learning curve. Okay, and while we're at it, I got my veg here. And I made a little marinade of extra virgin olive oil, balsamic vinegar, salt, pepper, and some dried basil flowers. I did an Instagram post on that. When your basil flowers, clip it, let them dry. You'll have dried basil all winter. And I got some fresh thyme leaves and fresh oregano leaves in there. So we'll give everything a nice brush. And since the fire is so hot, we'll put these up high too. I did that the other night. They cooked beautifully. So let's get these on. The zucchini towards the outer ring where the heat is, because the tomatoes will go to mush in 2 seconds. And now our 2 tomato wedges towards the inside. This is my new favorite method with the Weber. Instead of cooking right on the grate, I make sort of a double. Let me see if I can get around here with the light. See the chimney? And everything's up high. You get a little sear. And now if I check my app, I can see my internal temp rising. Started at 53, it's up to 64. There's the ambient temp outside. That's catching the heat from the grill. My target is 120. I'm about halfway to the internal, so I'm going to flip this ribeye. I'm keeping the ambient part of the thermometer away from the heat. You don't want that getting too hot. Okay? I'm still on zoom. Let me back out. There we go. Got some nice color on this side of the rib. They give you max temps in the manual that you don't want, like that ambient thing going over, I think it was 212. I'm at 106. And you don't want the, it's good to up to like 500 degrees. And you definitely don't want it right in the fire. Okay? You want to take care of this thing. It's a beautiful piece of equipment. Or, I should say, gear.
Gadgets and gear.
What? I said TGIFF, didn't I? All right, let me give my veg a flip. I'm sorry you can't see the ribeye. It's in such shadow. I'm going down here with the zucchini. I think they can take it over there. Give them some nice caramelization. Nice grill up. Checking my app, I'm at 104 on the ribeye. Let me bring the tomatoes down too. Those you got to be a little, no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to flip them to the outer edge. See, they're already falling apart. I'm going to flip them to the outer edge. Oh, Goldie, baby. I cut them nice and thick so they could withstand this torture. I'm going to have to get some basil for those. 106 on the rib. Looking good. I'll bring it out here. Okay, we hit 122. We're now resting. I'm going for the sear. So I know there's no light out here, but now I'm going to finish it with the final sear. The thermometer is out. You do not want that on this hot fire. I got my heat-proof gloves on. We hit 122, which is what I wanted, because technically I want 125 to 130 on the interior. So I'll give it a minute or two on each side. You know, the old way I used to do it was sear the meat first, then lower the temp. And then through various shows, YouTube, podcasts, I stumbled on this method where you do the nice bring, slow, bring it up, 120, 122, 123, then do your sear for the finish. It hasn't failed me yet, and that was even before the meter. always realize the meat will continue cooking a little bit even after it comes off. So 122, then we seared it, minute aside. Let's put it on the plate. Gonna cover the Weber for safety. See you all in the kitchen. Let's go to the board.
Come on, let's do it.
Let's see how we did here. Again, truth only on Come On, Let's Do It. If we overdid it, we overdid it. If we underdid it, we underdid it. But I'm gonna say we did it. It's definitely rare. Hold on, quality control. Perfection. Oh my God, what a flavor. The meter. Could I have gone another 30 seconds to a minute? Maybe, but I'd rather have a rare, good cut of steak than an overcooked one. Oh man, that was the outer fatty side. Get a gander at that. Okay, let me get some on the plate here. I haven't even tried the veggies yet. Oh, this hit perfection. I don't know if I'm more psyched for dinner right now or steak and eggs in the morning. Can't decide. Don't forget those juices. Let's give these veggies a try. Goldie tomato. All mushy. All smoky. Balsamic. Extra virgin olive oil. I'm tasting the basil flowers big time. The final globe zucchini of the season. Plenty in the freezer. And the ribeye. Virgin run on the meter. Smart thermometer. TGIFF. There's a learning curve to everything in life. The more I use it, the more I'll learn how to use it. Ribeye steak and Cabernet Sauvignon on a Friday night. In honor of the elderly woman who just died in England, I think it's worth reading Winston Churchill's quote again. That's why I bought this wine. My rule of life prescribed as an absolutely sacred right, smoking cigars and also the drinking of alcohol before, after, and if need be, during all meals. And in the intervals between them. Churchill. Gotta love it. Mr. Churchill, you're drunk. Well, you're ugly and I'll be sober in the morning. It's a great meal. It's a little haphazard, losing the sunlight and all that. I apologize for the... So, we'll see you for these Goldie tomatoes on the grill, man. We'll see you for the next episode.
Come on, let's do it.
All right, what did I learn on tonight's episode? I learned a little bit about the meter and how to start using it. Got a long way to go for perfection. Which brings me to the point, man, myth, nephew, Joey Turns, a huge big thank you. I think you got to start looking at some airline tickets so we can take that meter. It's over there somewhere. I was going to hold it up and shove it into some lechon. But what I really learned with this episode is that, too many cooks spoil the broth. Too many gimmicks spoil the episode. I just had too much. I thought it a hat trick thing, thought it would be funny, threw in the quick tips. It wreaked havoc. That's a new one. Is it wreaked or wrecked? I've heard both lately. I always said wreaked. Job for the Goog, I guess. This is perfect, but it was a crazy episode by trying to do all that stuff. So from now on, gadgets and gear is gadgets and gear. Quick tips is quick tips. TGIFF is TGIFF. And an episode is an episode. Never the twain shall they meet again.